You would not believe how long it took me to set up that camera. Oh, I need a cameraman, or just a better tripod. Anyway, on with the news. First up on the agenda today, Katy Perry is in some hot water after being sued for apparently copying music of someone else. Well, the song in question is Joyful Noise by Christian rapper Flame. I'll play both of these segments, which are apparently copyright infringement of you, and see if you can decide if they're close enough. Now, initially, I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty similar. It's like the same beat, the same like note progression, but I just listened to it now, like before recording this, and yeah, they're not at all similar. Like, I'd understand it if it was closer, but it's kind of a stretch. But regardless, there were people who jumped onto the defense on both sides, like all the Katy Perry fans just going, oh no, it's Katy Perry, she can't do any wrong. And then the ones who are on the outside and picking up the lesser known band saying, oh yeah, Katy Perry copied them. But you just need to look further into the song to see if that is actually true. Which in this case, it wasn't, and our opinions on both parties in question shouldn't come into it. I mean, I at no means claim to be an expert in music theory, but I think the average Joe Blog would be able to tell you that those two beats are quite different. One's a lot faster, for starters, one's a different tone, and slightly different chord progression. So, yeah, I don't know how the lawsuit got this far, to be honest. Next up, for some small bits of news, apparently the place, Station 5, which is apparently going to be a thing, has had a pre-order listed with a price of $1,580. $1,580. That's about $1,000 too much. I don't know if this is like a mistake or if that's the price they're actually planning to charge people for the PlayStation 5, but that's too much. No one will buy that. Apart from like PlayStation fans who are really adamant that they have the superior way of gaming. This is why I'm a PC gamer, and then I don't need to keep buying more expensive consoles every few years when they stop making games for it. Okay, this article here says that the PlayStation 3 was criticised for its high launch price of $1,200, which again is too much. I would just wait a couple of years for it to go on sale. By that point, all the games have also dropped in sale, so I can get everything really cheap. And quite market experts have previously stated that PlayStation 5 will likely launch with a much lower price of US $400, which is about 610 in New Zealand dollars. Then how did you screw that up that much? I know pre-orders are normally a bit more expensive, but that's almost an entire grand more expensive. How do you mess that up? Does it say who? Does it say who was pre-ordering this? A third-party retailer in Sweden, apparently, called MediaMarkt Sweden. Either their maths was really, really wrong, or they're just trying to get more money off people. Yeah, there's not much else more about that. It's too much. More on the topic of video games. Apparently, Microsoft has released guidelines explaining what you can and can't say during trash talk. For those of you who don't know, trash talk is basically just kind of mocking or like egging on your like opponent in a game to try and like win a psychological victory. It's all it's all like a joke. Like, nobody means it if they call you whatever name. But no, apparently we need guidelines so we don't inadvertently hurt someone's feelings. Whereas most games with online communication such as this are rated M for that exact reason, because you can't monitor what people say. And even if they do this, how are they going to monitor it? Have like a Microsoft employee in literally every single lobby of every single video game ever? Or will they just expect people to just accept them and do it? Do they even give examples? And yeah, this is apparently only on Xbox One, so like playing on a PC, absolutely fine. You can say so whatever you want, but if it's on Xbox, I know you need to look out for that language. I don't wish to cause any offence here, but if you are that offended at a single message over text chat or even voice chat in a video game, I think you're playing the wrong type of video games. Like, just most people have thick skin and can look past a few remarks, and people on your team are pretty with it as well. What do they like imagine video game like online to be? Just a bunch of people throwing insults at each other for like 2 hours? I mean, depending on the game, that's not too far off the truth. But yeah, also, how do they classify light-hearted banter or bragging that focuses on the game at hand and encourages healthy competition? That could mean any number of things. You could argue that for literally any type of trash talk you say. They give actual concrete examples. So this is an unacceptable thing to say. Is cheap win totally expected from a bracket racial slur? I don't think I've ever heard that on an online game, because you can't tell what race someone is if you can't see them. You can tell what character they're playing, but you can't tell what they look like unless they tell you. It's just people being an asshole, basically. Acceptable trash talk. Examples says that was some serious potato aim. Get wrecked. A cheap win. Come at me when you can actually drive without running cars off the road. Only reason you went positive was you spent all on game and camping. Try again, kid. Did they get an 8-year-old to write these examples? Because bar like the potato one, which I actually say occasionally, I haven't. No one would say this in an online game, because this is This is how 12-year-olds diss each other on the playground. And yeah, most of their going too far is just the exact same sentences with a swear word in them. So they just think an acceptable swearing, which I can understand, but when you phrase it like that, you can't swear in online trash talk. They didn't really think this through. Finally, on the agenda today, Disney, the ever-present behemoth that owns almost half the world, has announced plans to reboot several films franchises. I'll you kind of guess which ones they might be, because yeah, you wouldn't expect it. They're gonna reboot Home Alone, Night at the Museum, Cheaper by the Dozen, and Diary of a Wimpy Kid, if I'm not mistaken about those last two. Well, I have several questions. Most of them are just why? Why pick these films of all things? They're just kind of just flexing over everyone that they now own Fox. That's basically what this is. They're like, oh yeah, we own Fox, we'll like remake all their films. That's kind of a bit disrespectful to Fox. And the last Night at the Museum came out 2014. Man, that was 5 years ago. Where's the time gone? Anyway, it came out 5 years ago, and it's getting a reboot. Like, why are they walking over Robin Williams' grave lately? First Jumanji, then Aladdin, and now Night at the Museum. It's like, I don't see what you're trying to do. I mean, obviously they do. You're trying to get more money. And Home Alone, it's showing that without the guy who was in the first two, it doesn't work. Because they had two other films without him in it, and they didn't work. What other films, I hear you say? Exactly! Because they were so bad. Because they tried to capitalise off a franchise which was popular for its actor. Like, oh. There is an actual statement by Disney head Bob Iger, who says that Disney is focused on leveraging Fox's vast library of great titles. For example, reimagining Home Alone, Night at the Museum, Cheaper by the Dozen, and Diary of a Wimpy Kid for a new generation on Disney Plus. End quote. Well, Night at the Museum, your argument falls apart because it hasn't even been in generations since the last film came out. I watched that film in the theatre. I watched the third one in the theatre. So, you're still making it for the exact same generation. The only way I would accept another Night at the Museum film is if it was a spin-off in the British museum with Rebel Wilson's character. And that might be what they're doing. I don't know. I hope so, because no one's going to watch it if it isn't. He carries on by going, nothing is more important to us than getting this right, he added in an earnings call on Tuesday. Oh really? Nothing's more important to you? What about money? I bet that's more important to you. That's why you're doing all of this in the first place. Disney. Should be a bit nicer to Disney after they took down my copyright claim from my last video. But still, they're in the wrong here. And all of these movie franchises will be part of the Disney Plus streaming service. So they've just really piled it on heavy-handed. They've just really piled it on heavy-handed with all this all their new streaming sites, so hopefully they don't just end up with a whole bunch of really bad content on that platform. The only one of those four that might actually be good is The Diary of a Wimpy Kid reboot, because the original films were extremely cringy, but I really liked the books as a kid. I mean, everyone liked the books as a kid, so that's the only one I'll be interested in seeing how it goes. The other two I will not touch with a 10-foot pole, because I see right through you. Through you, Disney. But anyway, that is all that in entertainment news for today. So, yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed my rant. Subscribe if you want to keep up to date on it. Yeah, there's the YouTube stuff out of the way. Are we doing it properly now? Catch you later.